Mr. Cruz here, the littest teacher you never had, back with another video. I know it has been a while. I'm so sorry. Life has just been crazy with this whole COVID stuff. And ironically, even though I'm working from home, I'm working a lot more than I did when I was, normally in school. But either way, got a really dope video for you guys today. Today I'm going to be talking all about bouncing your tracks in place and kind of all the different features that Reason has as far as like taking your MIDI files that you've already recorded and bouncing them to audio files or to WAV files for you to manipulate however you want. But before I do all that, I got a little something for you guys. So not that long ago, if you follow me on social media, I had mentioned that I would provide a gift, right? That I would have a free gift for all of my subscribers because we hit 500 subs here on YouTube. And we did that probably like a month ago. So I'm a little late on this, but my gift to you guys is a free brand new custom drum kit that I created from scratch. So you can check out the link in the description below. It'll take you to my website, and from there you can download my brand new drum kit completely for free. All right, so this is just my gift to you guys. Of course, this is only going to last for a little while, and then after that, I'm going to bump up the price. On top of that, below in the description, there's also going to be a coupon code for you guys to buy any of the MIDI packs that I have on my store, and you can get those at half off. So, that's not only are you getting some for free, but then you get a discount if you want to get anything else. So again, that's my gift to you guys. Thank you guys so much for supporting and showing love on my channel. Every time I post something, man, humbled and grateful. All right, let's get back to the tutorial. All right, so what we're going to be doing today is I have this kind of this beat, and as you can kind of see, let me see if I can zoom out a little bit more. All right, a big part of this beat is you can see a whole lot of WAV files. So the reason is because I use Arcade. So specifically for this beat, because this beat, like I was trying to go for something funky, and I'm not really like, acoustic live drums. Anyways, I use a lot of Arcade samples, and with Arcade, for me, Arcade eats up my CPU, my processor, a whole lot. So after I throw in a couple of racks of Arcade, my computer starts lagging. So the solution is bouncing in place. So this is a really cool feature that Reason has. So we're going to listen to this down here. These are keyboards that we have. So pay attention to this sound. So that sound right there. So let's say with Reason, right, this is kind of one of the main ways that I use it, is I want to take this MIDI file and I want to convert it and bounce it to audio, so that way I'm not eating a whole bunch of CPU. So the way that I would do that, and I would literally highlight it, I would right click it, and then I would select bounce in place. So bounce in place is going to bounce it to a WAV file. So any kind of effects you have, any kind of pan, any kind of automation, all of that is going to be taken into account when it bounces in place. And even though our cursor looks like it's going all the way, it's really only going to focus on the region that I had selected. So also notice that it's going to bounce all of the regions. So even though, if we can unmute this here, even though you can kind of see that I didn't play a note throughout the whole region, throughout the entire region, it still bounced the entire region. All right. So on top of that, there's some other cool features that Reason has when we're talking about bouncing files. So that's just for strictly a MIDI file. But when you have an audio file, you can do a whole lot more. So I'm going to select this audio file up here, which I believe is these stick sounds. All right. So one of the several different things that you can do, right, when you go to bounce, it gives you a whole bunch of different options. So bounce in place, it literally does the exact same thing that I had just showed you. So let's say I added a reverb to this effect, and then I wanted to bounce that sound with the reverb in it, so then I can manipulate it later. You can do that. You also have bounce clips to new samples. So when you bounce clips to new samples, they will show up. If you go to your browser, song samples, and all self-contained samples, that's where it'll show up. So we should see a new file called sticks show up there. Yep, all self-contained samples. We got a new sample called sticks. All right. So like that's really good when actually, when I made my drum kit, that's kind of how I did it. Is I dragged samples in, I changed them, manipulated them, add compression, and all this other stuff, and then I bounced it to a new sample so that I can re-manipulate it again and drag it into something like Kong or redrum. All right, another thing that you can do is you can bounce clips to disk. So when you bounce it to disk, it'll literally ask you for what folder you want to drop it into on your hard drive. That's how once again, this is how I made my drum kit, is I just bounced it to, when I was done with the sound, whenever I was finished with the sample, I bounced it to a disk, to a folder on my hard drive. All right, next up is you have bounce to new recording. So this one's really cool. So let's say I had two parts. Let me see if we can zoom in here. Let's zoom into this MIDI region. All right, so let's say there was a certain part in this MIDI region where I wanted to use this part over here. So let's say I wanted to use the third bar, and I wanted to move it to the second bar. Now you can cut and splice it all the ways that you kind of can, but here's another way that you can do it, is if you right click and you hit bounce to new recordings, when you double click your audio file and then go to comp edit, you now have that same audio file that you had before that you can then switch and move around to kind of do your crossfades and do your edits. So that's a lot simpler than, what I used to do, which was, I don't know, maybe some of you guys are doing it, is like you duplicate it and then you bring it over and then you kind of combine it into one or join clips or whatever. That's just a simpler way to do it. It's just bounce in place, or no, bounce to new recordings. And we have bounce to Rex loop. So with bounce to Rex loop, you have to double click and you have to enter edit mode for your audio file. And because we have all these little slices here, right? All these slices where our transients are, this is where you would, once you're in this mode, and once you're in slice edit mode, this is when you would hit right click and then you can bounce this to a Rex loop. And I had kind of gone over that in a previous video, where now I have a Rex file that has every one of those transients in there. Lastly, we have bounce clips to MIDI. Now, in all of my years of using Reason, I've never used that. I've tried to use it before, but to me, it just never, it has never worked. So I guess if you're working with a pretty simple, straightforward sample, like if you're playing something like chords, it's probably not going to recognize it. I just don't know what's up with the algorithm that Reason uses, but I've never used it. So we can kind of try with this guitar loop that we have here. Let's go over here. So we're listening for this guitar loop right here. And let's see if we bounce it to MIDI. Boom. And it'll automatically assign a rack, but let's see. I mean, we can listen back to it. Prepare to be disappointed. Like, it seems like it recognizes the transients, but that's about it. So it's probably good for something like if you're working with a kick loop or a hi-hat loop. That'll probably be useful. But anyways, that's what I got for you guys today. Hopefully it's something helpful to you guys. Just a little quick video. Again, don't forget to hit the link in the description for your free drum kit and your coupon code for anything half off of all of my MIDI packs in my Beat store. All right, it's your boy Mr. Cruz. Out.